Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about Dana White allegedly given his blessings for the supposed Jake Paul versus Alex Pereira boxing fight. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. When Jake Paul called out Alex Pereira after the fight against Mike Perry, which I certainly tuned into, I would be lying if I said that I did not tune into that fight. And I'm not sure if part of me tunes into Jake Paul fights to side with MMA guys. I'm not sure. I would like to think that for the most part, I'm pretty even. I don't pick sides. But when it comes to the debate of boxing versus MMA, I think without a shadow of a doubt, if you were to allow the usage of takedowns, Muay Thai techniques, the likes of elbows and knees, and submission techniques like from the world of jiu-jitsu, then it would make a fight that much more interesting. It's not that I dislike boxing. As a matter of fact, I'm a huge fan of boxing. The greats have made me fall in love with boxing. The likes of Manny Pacquiao. I know there are other names before Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, but I woke up to the era of Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, specifically Manny Pacquiao. As I said, I don't like to side over one guy over the other. I'm a fan of characters and styles of fighting. And after all, when we say Manny, when we say Floyd, we're talking about iconic figures in the world of boxing, guys that have given us moments to remember for as long as we know the sport of boxing, and that's perhaps as long as civilization is going to exist from this point on. So for me to be a witness to eras like the Floyd era and the Manny Pacquiao era, I feel privileged to have been a part of the witnessing crowds for those eras. Therefore, what I'm trying to say here is that I love boxing. I absolutely love boxing. But there are certain aspects of boxing that restricts it from being the number one combat sports, in my personal opinion. It's not that it's my personal opinion. I think it's just the truth. If we were to put two combat athletes in a fighting confinement together, and we're trying to figure out who's the best fighter, I believe allowing said fighters to express as many tools as possible is the perfect way to see who is truly the better fighter. The closest to an actual fight, I still believe, is an MMA fight. I do understand it's not quite a street fight, and I don't condone fighting outside of controlled confinements like the octagon or the boxing ring. So what I'm trying to say here is that mixed martial arts, generally speaking, is a wider expression of that mixed martial arts. While boxing is very specific to one specific technique, and that's obviously a Western style boxing we're talking about here, using the hands. That being said, I know I digress a bit. I just went on a tangent there for a minute. But what I'm trying to hear is that we have, I think all MMA fans have a big respect for boxing. But in this particular situation, I am not a fan of seeing these MMA guys that truly would blow Jake Paul out of the water. If the opposite was to happen, I'm pretty certain their chances of beating Paul is much higher, whether it be Tyrone Woodley or Nate Diaz or Mike Perry, last guy. And how can I forget about Anderson Silva? Do you guys really think Anderson in his prime against Jake Paul inside of an octagon, do you really think that Jake Paul would even have the opportunity to think about what he's going to do? I think in Anderson's prime, it's nobody can truthfully stand toe-to-toe with Anderson Silva. And even in fights where he seemed like he was losing, somehow the dude comes up with something spectacular. Ground submissions, submissions off your back, you name it. There are many different ways that Anderson finished guys in his prime, but Paul fought a 47-year-old Anderson Silva, and he went on to fight guys that are somewhat in their prime, the likes of Mike Perry. I'm not a huge fan of seeing that happen in boxing ring. Obviously, Jake is very good at picking his opponents. His team is doing a great job at doing so. They are picking guys that are somewhat on their way out of the game. Some of those guys were well on their way out of the game. The likes of Anderson Silva, with all respect to the legend here. But now we have talks of Alex Pereira fighting Jake Paul. And, of course, Alex Pereira is not going to back down from that. Of course, I love watching fights. Obviously, I just watched the last Jake Paul fight. It's entertaining. It's entertainment. I have nothing against the guy. I just hate for our UFC fighters to continue taking L's in a space where they're not able to express their true fighting potential. That's my only worry. So the whole organization basically is going against one guy, and that guy's name is Jake Paul. You guys can't get him into the octagon. You can't lure him into the octagon. Lure him is a huge word, but he is luring MMA fighters into the boxing ring. That's for certain what's happening here. But what I'm trying to say here is that despite Dana White believing in Alex Pereira's ability to put away Jake Paul, I still think it's a risky proposition to put Alex Pereira, our current light heavyweight champion, in there with Jake Paul. The guy is so good with his hands. I have to give him that. And these guys really have no chance against a guy that's so good with his hands. The dude, I think, gets little respect on how good he truly is with his hands. Plus, he's going up against guys that are not boxers. Guys, you have to understand that. These are not boxers. These are MMA guys. In the world of MMA, if somebody's better than you in striking, you take him down. You don't fight fire with fire. Some guys do, but that's not the wise thing to do. I believe that's why mixed martial arts is a better expression of fighting. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.